One race weekend to go and 8 points away from the championship. We can theoretically still do this. Hey everyone, welcome to Season 1, Episode 15 of Race to the Top. I'm Ian, and in today's episode, you know the drill by now, don't you? Let's get through these 31 days, get to the Munich GP, which is forecast to be pissing down for the entire race weekend, so that should be interesting. We do have a new engine coming in, hopefully tomorrow, I believe. Let's just answer this question first. Julian Falcaro has claimed that your engine seems to be holding back the team, and technical commentators seem to agree. Is it true? Yeah, I'll say that's true. We do need to improve our engine. Yeah, but, of course, we're expecting a new one in 15 hours' time, so it should be coming tomorrow, in fact. So that should really make things interesting for the Munich GP. As you can see, it's now done, and we've got up to 192 improvement. That's fantastic. Reliability is really, really low. So once we've finished working on the car from the damage that it received in Ardennes, then we can really start looking at fixing the reliability and improving the engine itself. And the car is now finished, so let's get onto that straight away before we forget. As you can see, reliability is so poor. But what we can do is bump that up as much as we can, and we'll sort of go... let's go 5.5 for now, because we can always change that around. What I'm thinking is I'm going to give, because Joey Mawson is now leading Falcaro in the Drivers' Championship, he's going to be getting the brand new engine, and we'll give the current one with Joey Mawson, the one that's only 132 pips, a whopping 2 more than the original, we'll give that to Falcaro. That's my plan anyway. We do have a new sponsor offer as well, and we've got the choice of Ray-Ban, Ray-Ban, or Ray-Ban. So that's interesting. Who do we pick? I'm thinking we take the money up, the upfront money. I think that might be the best option, just because then we can sort of start looking at improving the factory. We obviously need a lot of money for the car for next season. I don't want to be looking at target position, because as you can see, the deal length's 13 races, so we're going to have to be stuck with that for the entirety of next season. And assuming I'm still with Koiranen next year, I think 9th or above might be a bit too much to ask, actually. So that's why I'm going to take the money up front, because I feel that we've now got £27.4 million. That puts us in a really good position to start looking at doing up our factory and everything else. We also have to rotate the pit crew around, so let's do that now. We've still got 30 days to go, but let's start looking at this now. We'll go mistake percentage. So we got Rangel at the front, who is in dire need of a break, and I think we can swap that one with Kajama, because Kajama's got very similar tyres and fixing ability. As you can see, we haven't really needed the fixing ability too much, but you know, the moment I don't factor that in, that one of the cars will have an issue and need to be fixed. The other one that needs to change is Räisänen, which is the back right, and we can swap them with... Who do we swap them with? I'm thinking we swap them with, say, Paskainen. They lose a little bit, so they're going to be a bit slower. But then what we need to do is, I think we can also take Ankuri off the front jack for Lindman, and that just reduces that mistake percentage even more. So the biggest one is Kajama, with that 1.2% mistake chance, and I think that's something that we're not really going to be able to rectify, unfortunately. So I'm happy with that. I don't want to start hiring more pit crew just yet. I think I'll obviously have to do that next season, purely because their contracts run out sort of in the middle of the season, from memory. I think they sort of last 12 races or something like that, so we have to sort of keep an eye on it. But what we are going to definitely be keeping an eye on is how the engine's getting on. So it's at 150 at the moment, with 56% reliability. So I might just bump that towards reliability a little bit more. We want that reliability right up, because it's going on Joey Mawson's car. And as you know, Mawson's been struggling a little bit this season with his reliability. And I think, you know, we don't want to have him leading the race and then 2 laps from the end the engine dies. But of course, in Munich, the engine's not that crucial. It's all about the gearbox with acceleration, the front wing, which remember is a spec part, and then of course the suspension for the medium speed corners. So the engine's not going to make a huge difference, really. But at the same time, it could still break down, and that's going to be huge. We do have a dilemma though, because the mechanics are complaining. I've heard a few rumblings from some of the mechanics that they're not very happy working in the factory. They do have quite long hours. What should I tell them? Well, I say deal with it. They're only going to lose a little bit of relationship there, -5. They're not going to lose that much, and I don't want to spend £500,000, quite frankly. So let's keep going. We've got 16 days to go now, as we've got to get through the F1 having one of their races in Rio de Janeiro today. Let's keep an eye then on that part improving. How's that going? So 158 and 66% reliability. That's still a fraction low for me. So I'm thinking, let's bump it all the way now. Actually, go 1 and 9, just because we could still bump that up a little bit more, which would be great. But we really want that reliability to go as high as it can. This is round 15 of 16 in the Formula 1 Championship. As we have a look at the drivers, and so Hamilton and Vettel, there's only a point separating them, and then you've got the two Finns of Bottas and Raikkonen well back. So Hamilton and Vettel, it'll go into that final race, which will be quite interesting. And in the Team Championship, Mercedes looks likely to claim it, but I wouldn't rule out Ferrari either, and Red Bull's a long way back, and then everyone else, look at that, really, really tight at the back, and Haas and Sauber are the only two that haven't scored any points. So that's going to be quite an interesting finale. Well, I wonder where they're racing next. We'll have to have a look at that result. After our race in Munich, we'll have to make sure we check out that result. So we've got 10 days to go. Let's keep going. So going into the final race, for the practice, I'm going to stick with Mawson and Falcaro in practice. As much as I love Fuoco because he gives great feedback, I just don't think he deserves to be in that final race, because it's so important for us to get both drivers, exactly where they want it. In terms of feedback, I think that's why we give them both a go. Motor Park have upgraded their design centre, and here is the brief then on the report for the Munich GP. So it's a 56-lap race with a lap record of 125.1, and there's likely to be some rain during the race. Sunday showing a 40% chance of rain. If you remember in Ardennes, there was a 40% chance of rain, and nothing happened, did it? So yeah, that doesn't help us at all. We either want to know if there is rain or isn't. That's why I want to build the forecasting centre. T-Sport's expected to do very well because they've got the best gearbox in the championship, and as you remember, acceleration is pretty crucial here. So watch out for T-Sport. And T-Sport is Hyman, I believe. T-Sport's Hyman. He's sort of been up and around us, hasn't he? We've had a fair few battles with him. He hasn't won a race, but I think he's got on the podium a couple of times. So watch out for T-Sport, because despite not having won a race, they're languishing in 5th in the championship, which I find amazing. And I think that's partly because they've got Jensen down here who's struggling a little bit. He's only picked up 19 points, so watch out for them. Otherwise, Julian Falcaro is having a little bit of a whinge about the medium speed corners. I'm really not that bothered. Of course, Ryan Tavera is already the driver's champion. So the only thing that's left is the team championship. Which, as you can see, which I did mention briefly at the start, we're 8 points behind Muka Motorsport going into this final race. So if we can get a good result here, who knows? We could even do something. We could even win the championship. After my massive stuff up in Doha, it's still a very slight possibility. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, as reliability is bumping up quite substantially now, and even our performance. Look at that, 166. I'm not too disappointed with that. But we are going to get into it, as it looks like every single competition is racing today. So let's get straight in. We'll have one final look. So 167, reliability is up to 91. So that's fantastic stuff. And we'll cut across then. So we will go into part fitting first, before I forget. And we're going to give Joey Mawson the good engine, and we're going to give Falcaro the average one. It's a little bit happy. I mean, look, he's actually a bit disappointed with that, because he now knows that Joey Mawson's got a fantastic engine. But quite frankly, Falcaro is the only one that could blame himself after running wide in Portugal, which is really frustrating. But if we go back, so here we are. So we are on track B in Munich, so we don't have that long back straight. And it looks like rainy in practice and heavy rain during the race. But qualifying should be clear, which is quite interesting. And this is the final race of the season, remember. So I'll see you for the qualifying, and let's hope we can get a good result, eh? So here we are in another rainy day. It's a rainy qualifying session in Munich. It was raining yesterday in practice, and it looks like it's raining again here. We did manage to get our race trim set up, but we couldn't do anything with the tyres because I had to keep flipping from intermediates to softs and then back to intermediates right at death. Joey Mawson, though, was fourth fastest on the soft. Ryan Tveder, though, he was only about 3/10 behind Ryan Tveder. Ryan Tveder was quickest. Then it was Rail Hyman. Remember, like, T-Sport have got the best gearbox, so that's probably why they've done so well. Then it was Maximilian Gunther from Prima Power Team. Then it was Joey Mawson. I said he was about 3/10 down, which I'm quite pleased with that. Julian Falcaro, though, he couldn't get anything going, and he was 13th fastest, so that's a bit of a concern. But as you can see, the rain here is starting with rain, but then it looks like it's drying off a little bit. So I think we maybe just leave this a little while. Let's just sit here and wait and see if that rain comes back. But it looks like it might be staying out. So we may be able to go out on the softs, which would really benefit us, and set a time, as the water on track does seem to be easing off a little bit with about 6 minutes to go. I think we're only going to really have one opportunity to set a quick lap. And it looks like the rain's dissipating, as we've got a fair few cars going out. Ryan Tveder is one of them to go out. So I say we send Joey Mawson out on the soft tyres now, just because it will take about 2 minutes to get around, and there won't be very much standing water. Or do we leave it? I think we might just leave it a little while. So indecisive on this game, it's ridiculous. But we'll click over to Ryan Tveder there, because he's going to be setting the first lap. He's leading the cars out, as you can see. And we're just going to have to keep an eye on that rain. So I think with about 6 minutes to go, I think we send them out now, just because I can't see into the future. So we'll send them out onto the soft tyres. I'm quite happy. As you can see, Joey Mawson's not thrilled with speed balance, but I nailed everything else, and Falcaro's happy across the board. So hopefully Falcaro can set a decent time as well. So we'll cut back to our guys later. We'll watch Tveder going around, because as you can see, it looks like the rain is coming back. It looks like the rain's coming back. You can just see it there with 4 minutes to go. So we might just have timed this. This is going to be tricky. We may even have to abandon our lap if the rain picks up, and I think we're going to have to. I think we're going to have to abandon our lap, to be honest. Ooh, this is going to be tricky. As Ryan Tveder's going around now, he's setting a lap on intermediate tyres, and it is bone dry, so this is going to be a disaster for him. But as you can see, Gunther's gone fastest overall in that first sector. And it looks like Tveder's really struggling here. Now, I think we're going to abandon our lap, because it is getting very heavy. As you can see, the water on track's really starting to pick up. So we're going to abandon our lap, and then we're going to go straight back out onto intermediate tyres. There we are there. We'll send them out. And we'll send Falcaro out right behind him. As we'll cut over to Gunther, who's about to cross the line. He's going to set the fastest lap by the looks of things with a 1:32.2. It doesn't look like anyone's going to be getting close to him. So it all hinges now on what we can do with what looks to be quite a lot of water on track. But everyone else is going to be on their in lap, so no one else is going to be able to come out and do anything. But Sasha Hara's gone fastest with a 1:31.9. Tveder, he's the one that we're keeping an eye on, and he's over 6/10 down. He's the one that's leading he's won the Drivers' Championship, and he's crucial to us. As long as the further he is down on the grid, the better it is for us. As Pedro Piquet's now gone fastest, Ericsson's gone fastest with a 1:30, and everyone's just topping the charts at the moment. Daravala with a 1:30.7, and that's pushed Tveder down into 11th place. There's still quite a few guys behind us. Let's cut over then to Joey Mawson, who's leading the way. Sato's now gone quickest with a 1:30.5, and we may have left this a little too late, because there might be a bit too much water on the track. If we'd gone out a bit earlier, we would have absolutely done really well. But Joey Mawson's gone perfect tyre temperatures, whereas Falcaro overheated his brake temperatures. So this could be interesting. This is it. There's no one else has really got time, unless they can come out again with 2 minutes to go. They may be able to get around once more, as it looks like Hyman's going out again, and it looks like... Oh no, Makino's done. So Hyman has come out again. But where are we sitting? Joey Mawson may be setting the fastest lap, but not likely. Falqueiro's well down, so he's not going to be doing anything. He'll be provisionally third at the moment. That's not that great, is it? Joey Mawson, though, is losing a lot of time. I think we're stuffed here because the water on track, we're soaked. We've stuffed this right up, and that could be our race weekend done, and any chance of a championship could be going away with it. As a lot of people are coming out onto the wets, but I think they're running out of a little bit of time here. So where does Joey Mawson? Joey Mawson's 19th, Falqueiro's 20th. What a disaster. We didn't do that well. After the last race weekend, we timed it to perfection. This weekend, we didn't, and we are now sitting in 19th and 20th on the grid. There's not much else we can do with that, is there? As it looks like Rail Hyman's going to be able to get across the line, though, and he's going to be... Oh no, he's gone into the pit, so he's abandoned his lap. So no one's going to be able to get around. Maybe, who's that one? That's Jensen, may be able to cross the line. No, he's running out of time as well. He's not even going to get across. So that's the end of the session then. So there's only us two left. We're the only two cars on the grid, so I'll just speed things up a little bit. But 19th and 20th, what a disaster. Sato has set pole, amazingly. Daravala's second. Tveta is 13th, so he's 6 places up the field from us, up the grid. That's not what we really wanted to see, is it? So Sato on pole with Daravala next to him. Then it's Joel Eriksson. Van Amersfoort have got both their drivers in 4th and 5th. That's good result for them. Ryan Tveta and Daniel Tickton for Muka Motorsport. They're 13th and 14th. They're not going to be scoring any points either. But look at us. We're sitting down in 19th and 20th place. We have a lot of work to do. Well, I would say give a big thumbs up if you enjoyed that, but I didn't enjoy that at all, so don't bother. That was a complete waste of time, and I'll see you tomorrow for the race, where let's see if we can salvage anything from this final race.